I'm a British teen that moved to America, and today I'm going to answer some of my most asked questions about my process and kind of give my advice and like what I know about it. I get asked a lot about like visas, how to make friends, all of that, so that's kind of what we're going to cover today. I think we're going to start with visas because it's arguably the most important thing, because it's what you need to actually move to America or to other countries. I personally didn't do this process, my parents did it, but I still know quite a bit about it, so I'll just tell you guys what I know. I do apologise because I'm not like 100% on everything because I didn't actually do the process myself. Okay, first thing is like before you even are thinking about moving, look online and search up the visas, because when I tell you there is so many different visas to choose from, so it might feel hard at first to find one that kind of like suits you, but I promise you if you look through you'll probably will find one. Make sure you're looking at the criteria and things you need to actually submit, because you can't just like kind of tell them, oh yes I fit this criteria. You're going to need a lot of evidence, a lot of documents, things like that, so make sure you can actually back yourself, otherwise they're not probably going to accept it. So another thing is you can actually pay to get the visa fast-tracked once you do it. So I'm pretty sure we did this and I think it's like about £250, but I'm not 100% sure, and also it does change. But just look at that because that could be a good option, because visas can take so long to get approved. So I think if you're in a position to do so, you should definitely look at that, because it can just speed up the process. It kind of brings your like application to the top of the pile. It'll definitely be a lot faster than if you hadn't have done that. Next would also be, if you can, again, get like a lawyer or a law firm to kind of look over it and help you with the application, because it takes so much stress off knowing that you definitely have all the documents you need and you will most likely get approved. Obviously they can never tell you 100%, but in their opinion and experience they're going to make sure you have everything you need to kind of have the best chance possible of getting it approved. I would just say make sure you really like abide by the rules and do everything by the book, because that is how you're going to ensure that you don't really have to worry. You know you've done your bit and what happens happens, but if you kind of go against any of the rules or don't print off certain documents or whatever, you're running the risk of definitely not getting it. So I would just say definitely consult like a law person or someone who knows about the visas. Look for information online beforehand and make sure you play by the book. Okay, next would be with making friends. This was definitely something I was really scared of when I came here, and I think a lot of like younger people especially would be worried about this. I think young people especially find it really hard sometimes to make friends, so I thought I'd just give my 2 cents on this. First, I would say you have to be super open-minded. People are going to be different than they were back home because you are literally halfway across the world, and it might take some time adjusting. Like they're gonna have different ways they talk, different slang, different things they even talk about, all this sort of stuff, so you kind of just have to keep an open mind. Don't shut it off because it's not exactly what you experienced at home. And yeah, just talk to anyone that approaches you, kind of give them a chance, because again you don't want to be too close-minded because you don't really have that many options in the start. You really need to just kind of get yourself out there and talk to literally as many people as you can. Go up to people. Like I guarantee, especially with an accent, it can sometimes make it easier because people can tell you're clearly not from there and they'll be really nice to you. And it doesn't mean you have to make best friends with every person you talk to, but as long as you're just talking to as many people as you can, you're giving yourself that chance to kind of make connections with people. Also, I'd say if you're kind of around my age and you're going to school, that is definitely going to be a lot easier, because school is a place where you're kind of forced to talk to people and they're forced to talk to you, and there's just so many people your age around, so that will be super easy. But even so, at school, just go up to people like at lunch or in class. Don't just sit alone. Like go up and ask, oh, can I sit next to you, can I sit here? They are not going to say no. Like if you're a new student and you're not even from there, that's going to make them look so mean. So I guarantee you 9 times out of 10 or even 10 times out of 10, I've never really had someone in school be like, no, you can't sit next to me. Like see, that is mean people, that's fine, that's not a reflection on you, but as long as you're staying kind and if you're just simply asking to sit next to people, like I don't think you're going to have an issue. So make sure you start conversations and small talk. Sometimes it can be awkward between two people, especially I feel like now in this time that we're in, sometimes teens and kids struggle to communicate with each other, so kind of just be outgoing and ask them questions. It's super easy. You'll have so much to talk about because there's so many differences between the UK and America and so much things you'd want to know and learn, so just ask them literally anything. Also, I would say, especially when you first move, if you get invited anywhere, just go. Like even if you don't really want to go and you'd rather just stay at home, just go, because they're only going to invite you so many times until they just stop inviting you, because they're going to think you like don't want to be friends with them or don't want to go out places when you're new. So once you've kind of like made that friendship, then if you want to stay in, you can say, actually I think I'm going to stay in tonight, or I have other plans or whatever. But at the start, push yourself to go places, because I promise you, like it's going to make you feel so much better, and it can be scary. Also, like I felt myself avoiding going places at start when people would invite me, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to know anyone there, like it's going to be so kind of awkward. But honestly, just go, especially in the first few weeks and months that you move. literally go to anything anyone invites you to, like, honestly. I would also say if you want some stuff kind of outside of school, or you're not going to school or whatever, look for like any clubs you can join. If you're into sports, that's super easy because it's like a team thing, like especially team sports, or even just sports like when you're training with your teammates, like that is a team experience, and like they're gonna have to include you. Like literally in sports, it's so important to be a good team, so it's definitely easy to make connections there. And then obviously it's even with people that have similar interests to you, so that's a really big bonus as well. If you're not into sports, it can be a little bit harder, but just go online, go on like Facebook or something and search up your area and then whatever clubs you want to find, and just go and try them out. You don't have to commit to them, but just go for a day, see if you like it, whatever. And again, push yourself to talk to people. This would be on cars. Again, depends what age you are, but I think one mistake we made when we first moved was we kind of leased or like rented a car. I don't like, you know, the ones where you go to like Enterprise and like rent the car, that type of thing, for so long, and it is so expensive here, or just I guess anywhere with that sort of thing, that we literally paid for a full car in doing that. Then we ended up buying a car and we've saved a lot of money. Like the amount of time we've been here, we probably would have paid by like 3 cars now at least. So I would definitely recommend like kind of looking at the cost, breaking it down and seeing if it's actually more affordable to buy a car. Because I think in the back of our head we were like, we're not going to buy a car when we first move here, like that's just weird, like we're going to rent a car, we'll save money. But actually in the long run we did not save money at all. It would have been way better just buying a car when we very first moved. So I would look at the cost of that, break it down and see if that's kind of an option for you, because I definitely kind of wish we did that. Also, the driving is different here. You kind of have to look at the rules. Like I think in America you're meant to do 6 months where you can drive kind of on your UK license, and then you have to do the American test. So I think for that you kind of have to, well, you have to retake the test. I think you have to do the written one and retake it, and I'm pretty sure you have to bring someone with you that has an American license. So kind of if you have any friends that you've made or like people you know that you could bring with you, ask them. If not, I'm pretty sure at like driving schools and stuff, they offer a service where they can kind of like take you there with them and maybe give you like a lesson before or whatever, and then drop you home. So just look into that and see what your options are. But that is kind of something that you had to figure out once you've been there a while, so don't stress about that too much at the start. Also, obviously driving is different here because it's on the different side of the road, and we had a few close calls when we first moved, so definitely be careful, be aware, especially if you're tired. I think when we very first moved, if we were too tired, we would not go in the car, because it's super easy, especially when you're tired and kind of your brain is a little switched off, to just make mistakes and fall back into like the muscle memory of what you had back home. And obviously that is not going to fly here because you're literally on the other side of the road. That's not how it works. So just be really careful with that and really mindful when you are driving when you first get here. Also, side note, I just found it really kind of cool and different when we first moved here. The cars on average are so much bigger and the roads are so much bigger, which kind of scared me initially and still sometimes does. It can be really confusing when you get to like intersections and there's like 8 different lanes and like 3 different levels and they're all going in different directions, and it just looks a little bit intimidating. And then even on the sat nav sometimes it's like one little blue line, but there's like 20 different lanes. It's really confusing, especially when you get to the ones with different levels. Oh, there's one road, I forget where it is, I think it's near the airport where I live. Oh my gosh, don't catch me on that one. I would not want to be driving on that one. But no, there is actually some beast cars when I tell you, like they would not fit on the roads back home. Some of the roads, I lived kind of in a little village back home for a little bit of time, and some of the roads were actually 1 lane and you had to kind of just like maneuver your car to one side if you saw someone else come in and squeeze through. That would not fly with the American cars, let me tell you. They would overfill that 1 lane, like they wouldn't even be able to get down. So it's definitely cool, but something to get used to with the car sizes. And I have a lot of photos of me stood next to cars because they are huge. Like I look minuscule, it's insane. Like even you need like a ladder to get into them, like let me tell you, like it's crazy. But I actually do like it. I think the cars here have a lot of character and they're really cool, and we did like a lot of cars over here that you couldn't get back home or weren't as common to have back home, so it's been really fun to get them. One of them being a Jeep. Let me tell you, our dream car. I feel so American with the Jeep, like honestly my favorite thing ever. And just some of like the older cars, like the Ford F-150s, oh my gosh, so cool when we see those. But yeah, the cars are cool, basically bottom line. I'm actually in a rush because I'm in Mexico right now and I need to get my flight back to America, so I'm gonna stop there and then edit this on the plane for you guys. So I'm sorry if I didn't answer all of your guys' questions. I kind of just went through a few, tongue twister. If you have any more, please let me know, and just let me know your thoughts on this. I think this is a really fun topic to talk about, and we have a lot of contrasting opinions and perspectives, so I love to read those. And I hope you have a great day or night, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video.